gentlemen, we're about to begin the final day here at the Fifae World Cup in Riyadh. And we're beginning with two of the strongest teams of our tournament. It's time for Brazil versus Saudi Arabia.
Two teams hoping to represent their country in the grand finals of the Fifae World Cup. We got Brazil versus Saudi Arabia, turning into a Rocket League classic.
These two have faced off what feels like a million times, but at the end of the day, for Brazil, Saudi Arabia has always been inevitable.
Saudi Arabia, you heard the desk talk about it. The keys to success for Brazil, it has to be start fast, never let off the gas, and Yan, he's got to be at the forefront of it for them. On the other side, Saudi Arabia, you heard Achieve specifically say it, they don't let go of their leads. Their defense, one of the best in the entire world in the semifinals, especially here in Riyadh. There are a few teams you could count better than them. Lost up high for the bump, got lost and almost got it, but the layers are there. Trofino with the save.
I feel like that's just a tiny taste of what we're going to be getting from Saudi Arabia as well. The level of aggression that has to come out against a team like Brazil will be intense. The pass doesn't come in because Ruas can find it himself.
Well, it's a domino collapse with two whiffs here. So Ruas sets it up, and you see Lost, he's lining it up. His eyes are on Saudi Arabia, and he just doesn't even get the touch, and Lost, he's expecting more power to come towards the net and causes the whiff, and Saudi Arabia will absolutely take it.
They hold on to their first goal lead, and now Brazil has to go all in. Killers, his shot just goes out to the corner, and Yan sends it straight on through into the Saudi half. Trofino completely gets his taken away from him, and the twins work together, a shot on target, set off to the side, the follow to float in front. And Saudi taking their time. Killers, half a tank to work with, off the backboard, the space taken away.
Neither of these teams know how to slow down, do they? Whenever they match up, it's some of the fastest games of Rocket League you'll ever see. Another clear downfield for Brazil. They've had almost zero offense here in the first minute and a half. Saudi Arabia really trying to push their foot on the gas. TRK, you heard his confidence. Trofino trying to get something going for them. A little bit of a possession, but Yan drops it down. That actually works out for Lost. TRK jumped on him immediately. Great response there from TRK.
And Killers just gonna call himself off this one. A little bit of a passing play to try and break on through. Instead, Brazil are the ones that send Saudi racing back home in the corner. Fight for control. This one slightly more in favor of Saudi as they push towards that mid-line. This one back, Lost, right place, right time. You see Yan trying to go for some disruptive bumps, but Saudi's just faster. Here comes TRK, and he's sent away.
Yeah, that's tough. That ball was going pretty fast, and he couldn't get the catch too far underneath his car. And Brazil getting a little bit more now when they're on offense. You saw that play earlier, trying to shade them off with a bump. Get that back pass or even a 50 out to your third man. Brazil have to find a way back out of their own half. They have stabilized, though, and not letting Saudi Arabia get all of the pressure. That's just a dump-off, though. Ruas gets to carry it out. Oh, he's downfield.
Killers, a pass. Oh, it's just a bit wide, but Killers has a little bit of space here. Lost has him red. And Ruas just lurking, working together with his brother to help TRK have the space, and he finds it around the corner, around one. But Brazil have done an incredible job so far of reading each of these shots, but this is one of the better ones. Ruas off the tail end of his car, too slow for power, pitch off the side, goes back out into the mid, and every single follow, Jorby, has completely been read by Brazil.
Brazil are in trouble, though. They cannot find an outlet, desperately searching for one. They finally get one on the skinny and have a touch up underneath. Just top of the box, there's nobody available. And Brazil unable to truly possess the ball. Every touch, Saudi Arabia have an answer for it. Killer's not able to drive that ball through, though. Lost takes it away in the midfield. Wants the bump. Trofino up. Denied. Saudi Arabia avoid the bump. They keep things solid here on defense, and time's starting to tick away. 1-0 for Saudi Arabia. Brazil, the offense few and far between, but more and more they got a high touch. Yan underneath, got the 50, but again, taken away. Killers gets to play it around, a little awkward in front of the box. Nice job to play it down towards the corner.
Even when they're awkward, the recovery is still incredible enough to be able to make those saves. And Yan's trying to get this one dropped down. Another read from the backboard, but they're going to try again. This one, great clear for Saudi. Yan is going to collect it. This one around one. It's a little bit of a team bump, a little awkward, but he does have the space, and 1 minute remains as Yan races back, gets that Hunter boost, enough to make a save.
Well, Brazil have struggled to find those outlets. They're not finding each other on defense, kind of lose their eyes a little bit. They can't let the speed of the game get to them. They love to play fast, but when it comes to another team that can match their pace and match their speed and are unwilling to slow down, Johnny talked about it on the desk. They could be their own worst enemy when they drop some of these weird games where they're not able to actually dominate like they can. 30 seconds left. They have a chance here, but Saudi Arabia keep on diving in front of the challenges. Rolas gets in front of that one, even in front of the second one. TRK, the pop out in front. That's not good. He's boostless. Yeah, top shelf.
They found a tiny gap in the defense, and Brazil have tied things up at 20 seconds on the clock. A great sign of life right between both the defenders.
All about timing there for TRK, too. Came up as he tried to pinch it up. He didn't have any boost, and that was a tough ball to hit at the speed it was going. He would definitely want that one back. We expect a player like TRK to make those touches, but credit to Brazil and the pressure they created in that moment, Hercules. This final 10 seconds, Brazil finally get what they needed. Can they build a little bit of pressure here at the end of regulation? And why not for the semifinal here at the FeFe World Cup? Why doesn't game one go to overtime?
You wouldn't want to have it any other way. Back into the kickoff we go. Saudi Arabia trying to make their push on forward, but Brazil has a tiny chance to break out. They do. The air dribble forward might give some space. Drafinho tried to go for the bump on that one, but already back is Ruas. Pass over to TRK. TRK to that backboard, but a great read.
Killers looking for the pass, but Brazil have the angles covered. They have the lanes bottled up. And that's not the bounce that Saudi Arabia were hoping for. That'll be perfect for Brazil to look for a way out. Look at Ruas chase him down and create another 50 opportunity for Killers. Brazil actually get the better of that one. Demo on the backside, lost, forces his way through one, gets bumped on his recovery, and now Saudi get the move back downfield.
A lot more aggression coming out from both ends of the field, but Brazil is really trying to up it. This one from Lost to Yan around the corner. This challenge still goes in favor of Brazil. This one down. Can it be collected?
Oh.
No. Saudi Arabia is just faster. Killers tries to put himself in a 1v1 as this one bounces out from the corner. He'll leave it for TRK, but TRK is wide.
This whole pressure opportunity started with that Drafinho backflip. He was the guy to take that 50 in the midfield. Lost had to try to make up for it. Looks like Brazil are okay as long as they get this clear out into the corner. And, well, you heard the crowd's reaction to that one, too. TRK almost getting the gravity dunk. Lost still having control of it, and Brazil are struggling to get back to the midfield.
A minute and 25 into this overtime. We expected a close game, but this feels a lot closer than I think even the crowd might have anticipated. As we wait to see who is going to ramp up the pace next. As this one falls into the hands of Drafinho. He's got the space, he's got the time, he's got the reset, but Killer's got the ball.
Good start, good shot. You gotta work a little bit harder than that, though. Lost, pass in front, it's in traffic, denied. Sitting in front of it, Saudi Arabia ain't gonna make it that easy. Drafinho get into the challenge quickly, but Saudi Arabia refused to bend on defense. Get through one, bounce on the ramp, TRK, slipped across, Brazil get back to the corner. Killers trying to protect the retreat and keep the ball. They do, Ruas waits on the wing, avoids the bump, and will wait on the right side as Brazil try to break out again.
And it was low boost, but for a while, but here it comes!
Oh! Well, the second man on the pass, he got bumped! Oh, what an end to that game! The second man gets bumped on the follow-up, and then another bump in the net means nobody can follow up on the save, leaving an open shot for Saudi Arabia. What a chaotic ending to game one.
At the end of the day, this was only game number one. We still got a long road ahead.
And for all of their effort, Brazil, they kept it close. They had plenty of their own opportunities. This is not looking like it did. These two teams, these 6 players met a couple months ago in EWC, and it was not close. It was a Falcons 4-0 beatdown. I had commentated that game, and, well, it was brutal to watch there. They were all over them. It looked like they were 2 levels above this Brazil team. And that's impressive to do, considering how good we know that Brazil are. But this Saudi team, they can hit a different level. They've shown it before. They're showing it right now. Fake back over to Killers as he'll take his time. Just trying to feather it. He sees there's not an exact opening and wisely leaves it. This is just brilliant from Killers.
This is so clean. Killers gets the reset and the bump. And it's just enough of a bounce for Ruas to spot the space in the goal and put his way through.
And he fakes the touch to the backboard. You see the player from Brazil on the backboard anticipating Killers' touch. He doesn't, he just lets it go, and all of a sudden, he's out of position, lost on the kickoff, trying to get this going. Game 2 starts as Game 1 did, with a quick Saudi Arabia goal. And Yan will be the one to receive here on the back wall, trying to get something going for Brazil.
Brazil trying to work together continuously, getting intercepted. And the follows from Saudi Arabia just seem to be too clean right now. And around the corner we go. Yan trying to follow up his touch with TRK's disruptive, allows Ruas to take control of this just for a short moment. But again, even just a minute in, when Brazil do have the ball, it doesn't quite feel like they are in control in that moment.
Yeah, they just haven't been able to create that consistent pressure. Saudi Arabia is so good at, you know, it's one thing to jump in the defensive third and cut off a pass. It's another to cut that 50 off and then immediately be able to follow it up from your team. Brazil have not been able to do that effectively on defense. It's taken more effort from them in that department. But Saudi Arabia, they get out quickly. And Yan, no bump there. Killers actually is out of the play now. Yan with the catch underneath, Lost on the call off. But both Yan and Lost had run out of boost as they tried to put that one together. And if that is an encapsulation of all the pressure they just faced on defense, they were starved trying to actually get on offense.
I got to give respect to Killers. Even in just that tiny play, it was such a struggle to try and get back in recovery, yet on no boost, he still managed to get all four on the ground, but Brazil takes it back. A pass to center. Great save from Ruas out to the side.
There's the world's best defender. Hey, floating in the middle of the net. I see your pass. You're not getting by me. Nice catch, but Lost had him red. Maybe looking for a bump as well. Brazil back in front of it. Ruas, what a great carry. Gets it over Drafinho as well. A little chain dash, and everyone has to respect him. Happily leaves it off. Like Saudi Arabia, they're letting Brazil hit the ball right back into them. Happy to have it. Yan gets across. That's a double commit. Drafinho lays it for Lost. Lost 1v1 pop-up, but challenged and knocked away. Well, Saudi Arabia have an answer for every question Brazil are giving them.
Right now, one of the bigger key differences between Saudi and Brazil is how close Saudi Arabia plays to this ball. Ruas keeps it to himself as this one floats near net. Killers is going to wait for this one to fall towards him, and he talks about it perfectly. They allow Brazil to just really throw this one away to them almost every single time. This one to Ruas. Finally, a small disruption, but he almost gets an angle on it. No connect.
Brazil again trying to move downfield, but Drafinho's touch just a little away from him. Easily challenged, easily knocked away. Even this one, you got to wait in the midfield line. Drafinho, this one looks decent, but look at the angles. Going farther towards that back wall, be a lot harder to actually shuffle that ball out to your teammate. They're not shading their approach enough. It's too easily read by Saudi Arabia. Here's a high pass up. They're starting to get a little cheeky with it, back and forth. Just not able to find it on target. Enough time for Saudi to get there. Ruas pops it over one. Drafinho ready.
And I fully expect Saudi Arabia to anticipate a lot of these infield passing plays because that's pretty much what they've done every single time. But same can't be said for Saudi. The solo plays continue from one end to the other. TRK, he took a shot. It was taken away, but Killer's right behind, lurking in the dark, takes his shot. And Saudi go up 2-0.
In the dark is correct, Hercules. Yan turned straight into it thinking he's going to get a catch downfield. And Killers is shaded behind the ball. He lost his eyes on him. Brazil's awareness has not been there in game 2 completely. Saudi have had them on lock. Even that touch right there, your 50 is just right back to a teammate. The way they complement each other almost feels like they're just one brain.
Killers almost found his little goal line shot there. Lost, bumped off the ball. This one headed back. No connect means it's going to fall straight to Killers. And Brazil's trying to get a little bit faster with it. Decide what they want to play at right now. Off the backboard, shot on in. And Yan is going to give Brazil a foot in the game.
These touches in control, you can follow it up. That touch right there from Lost, brilliant to beat them in the corner. And Drafinho playing a close second man. That job is easy. Lost touch in the corner, the hard part of that one. The equation, of course, solved with Yan. And Brazil have bought themselves 32 seconds to get the game-tying goal. Lost will get that one on the kickoff. They tried the quick read. Yan gets underneath it. Lost still there will prevent a quick clear down the other way. Drafinho, that's a retreat touch. Yan trying to get in front and get dirty. Drafinho, pot off the wall. And they can't find it. Here's where Lost 1v1. Lost is there.
This one's back, and thankfully into the hands of Brazil just for a short moment, but it is low boost. 8 seconds on the clock. This one's taken away. Almost in. Follow-up doesn't come through, which means a save to the side, and a waste of time is the only answer. This one's still in play. Pitch back. Will it be caught? No.
2-0 for Saudi Arabia here at the host nation of the Fifae World Cup. And you've heard the crowd. They are fully behind them. Fist bumps all around. Seems like vibes are okay. It's not always been the case when this Brazilian team has been down 2-0 in tournaments past.
I think a lot of the times, though, when you are going up against a team that you have played so often, you are going into it, of course, with the respect and the knowledge of what is the most likely outcome, and you are trying to change that. So Brazil has to keep that positive mentality, knowing that they've been in situations like this before.
Now, for two straight lands in Riyadh, this Brazilian team is down 0-6 to this Saudi Arabian squad. It has been a while since they've tasted even a game victory against them. Here's a pass in front, give and go, shot right into Killers. Up high off the ceiling, Yan has that read. Again, you'll have to do a lot of work to break through this Saudi Arabian defense.
Right now, Saudi is just breaking through Brazil once again. That's a great bump, could allow them to get on out past mid, but the bump is returned, and so is the demo. TRK takes this one away. Reset with a lot of power on it, as this one goes straight into the nose of Killers. Wrong person you want to have the space to the backboard like this. The double is in, and Saudi Arabia goes up.
He's taken over the lobby, avoids the bump with a vertical launch, and then gives him a little bit of an absolute explosion into the net. Killers. How about that? You can take the timeout, you can take a deep breath, but we're gonna knock the wind out of you right at the start. Oh, Brazil. I mean, what can you do here? You feel like you try to settle it down, you try to build that pressure, and nothing is working. Everything you're doing, it feels like Saudi Arabia can almost see the future. And how are you supposed to deal with future vision? You get stunned out. Brazil looking for a way to actually get any kind of leeway here in the blue half. They find nothing.
Just a constant attack from Saudi. It never seems to end, and unfortunately for Brazil, even when they do get this ball like they did just now, it almost immediately falls out of their control. Killers' touch falls out of his, but it's immediately sent back to him, and then they take advantage of it. TRK back up to Killers. Killers tries to take the shot forward, but the clear comes through.
The touch quality from Saudi Arabia is almost perfection. They dropped it. Curse your loss, my bad, buddy. Got underneath, and he'll have the third, actually. He's gonna cut right in under and get that 50. Despite the bump, Killers has control of it. Will take it on the nose, trying for a dunk. And they just seem to know exactly how to play Brazil's position. How to make that ball pop out away where they can't follow it up. Yan will leave that one go. And Brazil, they've certainly tried to show the feint. Even right there, Yan cuts like he's going to cut in, but he actually dips out so Lost can get a clean touch, but still it's a 50 and they can't break out of the orange. Whoa, that one might not be good though. Actually, never mind. Killer's already up in the air. And Brazil are still just absolutely getting out pressured. Drafinho underneath with a reset. Finally they get down. Transition, Drafinho!
Absolutely disgusting. If you wanted to put your foot down and say, we're not going down without a fight, this was the way to do it. But I do gotta give a little credit to Lost. He threw himself in the net at that last defender to really ensure that that opportunity was gonna be viable.
It's a classic Brazil move there. When you start getting started slow, how do you get the offense going with a real quick transition? But can that be what actually jump-starts this engine? Right now, it's just been rusty. It's been real rough as Brazil try to get the oil and the engine all smooth. They go down underneath. Drafinho catch back off to the 50, but that follow-up just too slow. Lost was expecting something a little different. Still, Yan makes it work. You see that one touch, that 50, where Lost was just a little off. Your positioning is off by a couple of meters, And you're talking about you desperately diving for a save and happy that Saudi didn't have a better shot.
Right now, Brazil looking a little bit better than they did in the first few games as far as when they get that ball, they are able to hold on to it for a little longer and find some space to work with. And Saudi Arabia, on the flip side of things, are just trying to get back to where they were, preemptively figuring out every single attempt. They haven't been quite as predictive as they were before, as Yan almost gets around one. He just continues to push himself forward, but it doesn't matter. Ruas sends Brazil going home. The shot on target, but a great save.
And had to avoid that bump. There was no way he was going to get that touch, but great layering again there from Brazil. And then they get stuck with this transition. And look how quick that is on the return fire. Trifino racing down the field, but they have to contend with a Saudi Arabian every time they move just a couple of feet. That one off the wall, off the corner. Yan. Too hard, too high, but he makes the touch work. They bump into each other. Roas will always be ready for it to help his team out. Lost. That's too heavy of a touch and broken up. Yan too high again. Brazil struggling to control this ball, and they're gonna get punished for it.
I was going to talk about the fact that Brazil was sending one player extremely far up, but instead Saudi Arabia said double it and give it back. We're going to send two upfield and work together to get around one last Trifino with very low boost. And Saudi Arabia claimed the 1-goal lead with 40 seconds left on the clock here and look to get a third. Although Lost might be able to respond here, this one's sent out to the side and the clear comes through.
30 seconds for Brazil, otherwise they're gonna have to find a way to attempt a best-of-7 reverse sweep. We all know how likely that one is. Trifino, nice pop on the 50s. Unfortunately, no boost to really drill some impact into that third. Yan pass to Lost. Lost, no, denied. Two cross for Saudi Arabia on defense. Brazil hold for now in the final 10. Lost is jumping, and he's got to recover. Nobody from Brazil is there. And another clear. Trifino tries to hold. From the midfield, pass down. Yan, pre-flip, not there. Lost with 1 second, dunks him. Roas saves it, but the ball's in the air. Yeah, no! One more game until Saudi Arabia greet themselves to a grand final.
They just know how to do it better than everyone else. To the Saudi fans in the crowd, you are one game away from another grand final. Let them hear you.
The inaugural Fifae World Cup. Saudi Arabia would love to get there. Brazil, you're talking about marathon mode from here on out. We're gonna have to see something that we haven't seen yet. Roas, quick pass out to TRK. Brazil are able to get there and stuff the attack, but those follow-ups have just always been so slow. Brazil don't feel confident that the 50s are gonna go their way, so you see their positioning reflecting that. Sitting farther back, always expecting that ball to come back because, well, for 15 minutes, it has.
It just feels like the same story every single time right now. There has to be something different. And Brazil, it's very difficult because they are trying, 100 different ways to get around the defense. They've tried pinballing it all the way around. They've tried the solo plays, but Saudi is just stronger. The drop down to TRK from the midline gives Saudi their early lead.
Hey, you talk about pinball, how about the triple bumper? All three getting involved. And Saudi Arabia going for the high score. 1-0 again. I think they score around this mark. In all four games, at 4-10, here we go again. And Brazil, that's gotta be so frustrating with every single game. There's 4 minutes where you're at the deficit. You can't find a goal until later. If you can find one here, it might feel a lot better, but always there will be a Saudi Arabian. TRK, quick attack downfield, pass in front, goal!
If you are Brazil, you cannot commit like that as well. Because Trifino had himself racing back. Ruas and Killers boxed out Yan on no boost. There was no way he was going to be getting back to that goal line in time. And Saudi Arabia recognized that Brazil are having these moments where they're cheating up just a bit too far. And a lot of this is due in fact to, you don't want to be in the deficit, like you said, Jorby, right? For 4 minutes. They are fighting for their lives, and now they're going to have to do it to 3.
Well, they've been bending Brazil, and now they're trying to break them. This one, all Roas. There's TRK in front of it. And what are you supposed to do if you're Brazil? You absolutely have no answer right now. 3:40 to go in this game, Hercules. And the way that it's going, it feels like it's over. That one Certainly, it just may be!
No words. In all honesty, one, the way that this team can spot each other. Two, in the off chance their shot just happens to miss the mark. You have to be 100% prepared for where that follow-up is going to come through, and Brazil just was not in a position to do so. 4-0 with 3:30 on the clock puts Brazil in a moment where right now, not only are you fighting the three players across from you, but you're fighting your mind. This is purely a mental game at this point with one foot in front of the other. They tried across the midline, lost, flick over one, Killers out into the corner.
Just not enough in the clear out. There's no immediate follow-up. That one fortunately came out to Yan. Saudi Arabia all come off the back wall. Dravinho pass out in front. Brazil got to get this clock moving in their favor. They need to be scoring like now with this 4-0 deficit. But how about Saudi Arabia putting on a show for the home crowd?
If you're going to commit to a bump, you better make contact every single time. I love the dead ball on that, though, and Killers recognizing that, whoa, if I just stop my car right here, I got all the time and space to myself. 5-0 on the clock, less than 3 minutes to go before Saudi Arabia claim their sweep into the grand finals.
Desperation, a fake kickoff, and Saudi Arabia handle it excellently. In fact, it's them back on offense. Talk about a backyard beatdown. Dravinho not able to get anything going there. And how must this feel for the Saudi Arabian team? They came in with so much confidence, with so much, TRK, he comes in with so much aura. This crowd chants his name over and over again. The heart of this Saudi Arabian team. And it's gotta feel great, especially if you're sitting in the, you know, the crowd right now. You're big chilling.
Yeah, no, if you are a Saudi Arabia fan, you are sitting back, you know you're in a great spot. If Saudi Arabia were to Brazil on their territory, I actually might lose my mind. Killers' touch actually sends this one out and gives Brazil the moment to find their goal, but 2 minutes and 15, I think realistically, with the level of insanity that Saudi has been at, this is way too little too late.
And again, you have to think about how frustrated Brazil are with this. They know what they were coming into. They know how good this Saudi team is, but it's got to be frustrating when time and again you go against them and it just doesn't click. Routinely, this team looks like they could be the best in the world, but we haven't seen Yan be that guy in this lobby. We haven't seen anybody really on Brazil able to make that step. There's been slight mistouches, slight miscues, and moments of brilliance, but that one right there lost. Not even gonna get that one lost. Finally puts it in. Unfortunately for them, that just sets up a Brazil.
Saudi Arabia, you have 1 minute and 30 seconds to pull off the funniest thing right now.
I don't think we've ever seen Brazil get Brazil.
I don't think we have either, and I think on an international stage, let alone the World Cup, that probably would not be the best time. Lost is going to deny the Brazil with that one. At 1 minute 27, Brazil have put their foot back in this.
We will continue to never see Brazil get Brazil in Rocket League.
They said if there's one thing we're not going to allow to happen, it's that.
Yeah, you know, you can clap us for nothing, but embarrassing us in that way, no thank you. That will hurt right in the national pride.
Off the kickoff. Brazil back where they've been for the mass majority of the series in their half, defending shots from the entirety of Saudi Arabia. Killers given way too much space. The pass over to TRK finds its way on target, but it is a great save from Brazil, but it's not over yet. The pass back and in to Killers gives Saudi the 7-2.
It's not over yet, but it will be over soon. The 7th goal. All right, something that just feels so routine for Saudi Arabia. One of the most high-powered offenses in all of Rocket League. And we're asking that question. Everyone's like, this is France's tournament to lose. So what do Saudi Arabia have in the tank for them? Well, I think they're putting it on show right now against Brazil, that no matter who comes out of that second semifinal, they will be ready. Semifinals in Riyadh are not something that Saudi Arabia have ever struggled with. 45 seconds is a victory lap. Brazil, they had a great tournament. They drew with France both times that they played them. A tough group for them. They ended up drawing to Turkey, and it's that kind of play, that kind of what's been a mark on Brazil's run, on really Brazil's, how do you say it, just how they've played, not just in this tournament, but in tournaments past. Consistency. And they have never been able to put it consistently together. They get so close to the finish line, and then something breaks. Something doesn't click anymore for this team, but everything is clicking. All machines, all cylinders firing for Saudi Arabia. The heart, the home, headed to the grand final.
This roster had a very interesting journey to get here. In the group stage, they were the draw merchants. Day number 2, it felt like no one could take them down. And today, they reclaim their spot. A spot that has been never denied to them. The grand finals. Congratulations, Saudi Arabia.
Brazil had a great run in this tournament, getting second place in their group, making it the whole way to the semifinals, beating Belgium to get here.